Kevin Durant's coming back this week. You guys don't even know, but that's okay.
I feel like that was sufficient for an intro. I don't even need to do one.
You guys even know who Kevin Durant is?
I recognize the name.
He plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. And my sister met him at Target once.
Shout out to Target.
Yep.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dem Guys podcast.
On National Public Radio.
Excellent.
High five, SnoShoe.
Completely unplanned.
That was awesome.
Was that what you were going for, Drew?
Kind of, yeah. The best part about it is I don't even have to finish the intro now.
You never do. We always interrupt you halfway through the intro.
Hey, it works for me, because I didn't really have a whole lot planned after that. I was going to maybe say brought to you by the number 43. So,
Sesame Street.
Thank you for stopping me.
Indeed.
Hey, guys. I'm Drew.
I'm Slash.
And I'm SnoShoe. And we are...
The Three Musketeers.
Oh, man.
Not actually. We're
like Mo, Larry, and Curly is what we are.
Okay, if we were Mo, Larry, and Curly, who would be who?
Oh, dear.
I don't know enough about them. Like,
yeah,
I've maybe seen one or two, and it was a long time ago.
I don't think I'm qualified to answer either. Why don't we leave that to the listenership?
All right, question for you is the first thing we have today. Who would be Larry, Mo, and Curly out of the Dem Guys podcast? And
if you have questions for us, you can send them to our podcast email address, which is demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
DEMGUISPODCAST@gmail.com.
It's getting progressively more angry, I think, with each episode.
I'm getting angrier in my life as we go on, so I'm getting crotchety as I grow older.
Podcast is bad for SnoShoe's health.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna.
It's only once every 2 weeks.
At some point, the doctor's gonna tell you need to stop podcasting.
Look at your numbers on this chart. Your podcasting is out of control.
Those levels are insane. Well, you can also ask us questions on social media, such as Twitter at... I'm not allowed to say it.
No, you're not. I was waiting to see what was going to happen.
I was like, where's this going to go now? He's breaking all the rules.
Hey, I drove you to the ledge. It's up to you to jump off.
At Dem Guys Podcast.
At DEMGUISPODCAST.
I thought I heard PewDiePie in there somehow.
I snuck it in there. Did you notice?
It was subliminal. Subliminal advertising. You know, we like to help out the smaller channels.
Yes,
yeah.
If you play it backwards, you will hear the, I don't know, Yoko Ono admitting that she shot John Lennon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's amazing.
I was thinking something more along the lines of from the first Spy Kids movie when they're saying Floop is a madman, help us, save us.
That reference, though. I wish Spy Kids didn't suck.
Yeah, I kind of know what you mean.
Oh my gosh. Can you tell we've been at this for a year, people?
We're getting so much better.
Sure, we are.
I'm afraid to go back and listen to the first podcast we did.
Yeah, I don't want to either. I don't like watching my old content on YouTube on my own channel either.
It seems like, I mean, even though I was doing YouTube for well over a year at that point, I think. No, was I? Yeah, I was.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
Who knows? But it's been a year. Almost.
Yes, indeed. The first episode of Dem Guys Podcast was published on December 11th, 2013. So our anniversary is on a week from Thursday. Our episode schedule sort of straddles the anniversary this year. But yeah, 1 year worth of podcasts.
And how many podcasts, like what number is this?
This is episode 22.
22.
So we're four shy of doing
perfect.
Like if we stuck to our schedule, we should have had 26 in a year. So.
Right. So we don't get the perfect attendance award.
We got 22 and a half, though, since it's halfway to the next one, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
Sure. I'll accept
I
that.
guess.
We've done pretty well lately, though. We haven't missed one in, over 2 months or something like that.
It's been a while, yeah. And we've got the sideshow that somewhat counts as well. So.
That's true.
Yes.
Yeah.
The ever-entertaining sideshow. Let me throw in a plug for that. If you guys have not watched me and Drew play Castle Crashers, you're missing the time of your life.
And Slash and I still have to get around to recording. We have something in mind.
Yes, indeed.
And I want to play Castle Crashers again, so bad. So we need to do more of that.
Okay.
It's taking up like 176 kilobytes on my computer right now. I don't actually know.
Burning a hole in your hard drive.
I don't actually know how big it is, but it's really small.
Actually, speaking of burning a hole in one's hard drive, we ended up having to cut out the question section on the episode last time, episode 21, not because of an actual hole in my hard drive, but the audio from my side of the conversation failed to record properly last time because of file system errors.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up having to copy all of my stuff off of this file system onto a backup drive and wiping it clean and reformatting and loading it all back.
Oh my god!
And I lost some stuff in the process. But,
Hashtag Linux problems.
Yeah, well, hashtag I was not taking proper care of my file system problems. It was telling me, it was giving me errors, saying, there's an inconsistency, you should run a file system check. And I did, and it ran for a while, and I thought that it was, it had fixed it, because I killed it partway through, and then when I ran it again later to sort of resume, it said, no, everything's fine. I'm like, oh, well, maybe it fixed all the major problems last time. Turns out that wasn't the case. It just confused it into thinking that it was fine when it in fact wasn't. But everything's okay now.
So all of our answers are lost. Well, actually, Drew and I have our answers. Maybe we can just publish them. Or we can re-answer the questions.
/ you can answer again and then just edit in our answers from last week.
I don't think I have those files anymore.
Don't worry, I've got it. I'll send them to you.
Thanks, man.
You'll have to just edit your voice in like perfectly in between our voices.
And then go back in time.
Yes.
And release it so that nobody knew that it happened at all, and the entire conversation is moot.
I can't imagine that'd be that hard.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll work out the whole time travel thing, just give me, well, that actually reminds me, there's a great, post that I saw online that goes, what do we want? Time travel. When do we want it? That's irrelevant.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. You've got unlimited time to figure it out.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe you'll get like a TARDIS for Christmas and then...
Oh, that'd be nice.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you have proof that time travel can never exist. Because the Dem Guys podcast was never fixed last week.
Yep, there you go.
Sorry.
That would have been my number one priority.
It could have been procrastination.
What's that?
I said it could have been procrastination.
Yeah.
I guess that's true. But the part we did record last week was the, what did we call it? The Close Your Eyes game?
Yeah, it's sort of like the personality game, party game thing.
Right, and I left you guys with a bit of a cliffhanger because I was going to see if my girlfriend happened to think subconsciously that I was as dumb as I happened to think she was subconsciously. And I've got her answers right here. Unfortunately, none of them, she's not as hilarious as I am. So, she didn't have any really awesome answers, but strangely enough, everything in her vision was like really far away from her. So
interesting.
Yeah, she was kind of like all alone, and the storm was out there just like killing everybody else. Yeah, and she was just kind of watching it. So it's like she's very disconnected or something like that. But
she
only
throws
similarity,
everybody under the bus first when there's problems.
Exactly. The only similarity we had was our horse was like the exact same horse. No, I don't know
the dumb-looking one?
Well, okay. She didn't tell me if it looked dumb or not, and I didn't want to coax that answer out of her, because that didn't seem fair to myself. But she did say it was brown with a black mane, and she said it was not moving, so we can just infer that it was an idiot.
Did you tell her what your responses were, then?
Yeah. That was funny.
It's fun. It's a fun game. I rather enjoy it.
And we got some good comments, too. So
yes.
Thank you guys for commenting on that. That always makes our jobs that we don't get paid for so much more fun.
Indeed. Well, speaking of contributions from you guys, since we missed the questions last week, we're actually going to re-answer the submissions from last week, and then we've got a couple of new ones. We're going to get into that right now, so that you don't have to wait too much longer for that.
Don't worry, these answers are going to be 14 times as good because we've had 14 times as many days to think about them.
I already forgot the questions.
Were we supposed to think about them?
Okay, they might be just as bad as they were the first time.
Okay, that seems more in line with what people should expect from us. Yeah.
Our expected quality is bad.
We're so bad that we're good.
Wait, so am I supposed to read it? Oh gosh.
works.
Okay. If I read, I'm front end loading all of my reading this podcast. Hang on, my voice hasn't had proper time to settle down. Okay, here we go. Me. Okay. Mojo Fojo asks, "Hey guys, I have another question." He said that last time. This one is quite silly, but you'll probably like it anyway. If all three of you were to combine into be... I did that exact same thing last time. I totally did.
I remember that too, yeah.
There's into a B superhero, who would he be? And what would be his abilities? Have fun with it, and once again, he tells us to stay chunky.
So, I noticed something that I didn't notice last time, which is he's asking if we were to combine into a B superhero.
That's true, into a B superhero. So we have to rethink our answer entirely.
I do not want to be the stinger just because the Mino is the butt.
Yeah, but that means, like, once you do your job, the rest of us die, right?
That's true.
Isn't that how bees work, or is that wasps? Or is that everything?
No, I think bees, it depends on the species of bee, too, but I think most bees, it's like, the stinger breaks off, and that ends up killing the bee. Some bees, I think the stinger breaks off, but they survive. But like wasps, they're nasty. They'll keep stinging you for forever.
Jerk wasps. Well, I'm sure this was the answer
wasps.
you were expecting from that question.
But
what did we come up with? Okay, so we said, I don't know if we want to use the same answer, but I'll go over it, I guess. We said that Slash was going to be the brain and the kind of the decision-making part, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then Drew was going to be the heart and the luck and, like, the constitution, basically.
Yeah, you guys decided that I'm, like, lucky or something?
Or something. Whatever. Don't give me or something. You should have lost so many Abba Cavings.
I'm that X Factor.
He's the X Factor.
Not
ladies
like
and
the
gentlemen.
show.
You heard it here first.
wow.
And I was going to be the jumping ability.
Yes, because of the three of us, you are probably the most athletic.
Yes, supposedly. I don't know. We need to, like, have a meetup and have a nice game of athletics.
I now call into question your athleticism.
I can play the bass hoop.
And then we'll record it and put it on FaceTube.
Ooh, FaceTube. That sounds
like FaceTube.
minimally invasive. In more than one way, I guess. Oh, inside jokes with only myself. Okay. Oh, also, I didn't mention it. We mentioned it last time. He put a nice little emoji down there, and it's like, we're not really sure what it is. It's like a square that has a mustache, and it's
he's like pulling on it like a super villain.
It's a super springy mustache, and it springs back into the same place every single time. It's kind of mesmerizing.
So she get distracted very easily.
I did. Now this next question is slightly irrelevant now, but we can still answer it. Thanksgiving was for us just a couple days ago, but Sarah JMCB asks, "Hey guys, what's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Also, name something you're thankful for this year, besides our awesome listenership."
Indeed. Well, my favorite Thanksgiving food, it pretty much always is dessert stuff. I mean, I love all the stuff that we have at Thanksgiving. But my wife makes this absolutely amazing cheesecake. And so that is always my favorite thing to look forward to for the holidays. And she tried something different this year, which, now that we're answering the question post-Thanksgiving, I have further information that I didn't have before.
Ooh.
Wow.
But she actually tried, she has this, I guess standard, if you want to call it that, cheesecake recipe, and then she decided this year she was going to try to make a pumpkin cheesecake.
Oh, snap.
Which was also fantastic.
Less or more fantastic?
Probably less fantastic than the original. But it's kind of an apples to oranges comparison too, because it's a different sort of thing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to really draw a comparison and say which one was better than the other one. But she's identified, like, the pumpkin flavor is very subtle. It's very hard to get a strong pumpkin flavor out of anything with just natural pumpkin. So she's gonna probably look into next time she makes it, try to do, like, some sort of artificial pumpkin flavor to ramp it up a little bit, just so it tastes a little bit more pumpkin-y.
Speaking of pumpkin-y,
it was quite fantastic.
What do you guys think was the by the way, pumpkin pie is, like, my favorite Thanksgiving food. But what do you guys think was the first thing somebody, like, decided they enjoyed that was pumpkin flavored. Because I think you have to go through quite a few variants of consuming a pumpkin to come up with something that would be actually good.
Yeah, well, I mean, as with a lot of foods, I'm kind of confused as to how anybody even thought to try eating a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Because there's a decent amount of steps you got to go through to make
Right.
get the pumpkin to the point where you can eat it. So, I don't know.
And I mean, it's as big as a watermelon, but when you cut it open, like, clearly a watermelon tastes delicious on the inside. But a pumpkin, you cut it open and it's hollow and it's got all these seeds in it, and you're like, that looks delicious. And then somehow it got mashed up and put on crust with whipped cream and turned into a pie.
I imagine it probably started out just kind of like roasted, just like, roasted throw pumpkin. It over a fire and taste the flesh, and yes, that's
I can't imagine that would be
edible.
Good. One time I accidentally poured orange juice on a fire, and it was the worst smelling thing I have ever smelled in my life. Don't try it, I promise you.
Accidentally pour orange juice on a fire.
Well, I guess spill would be the correct word.
Oh, I just assumed alcohol was involved.
Who knows? Alcohol and fire. It's a great combination, clearly.
Well, my favorite Thanksgiving food would be cornbread. And my dad makes that, and I mean, I've learned how to make it too, but pretty much my dad makes it all the time. And I didn't even think about it until we got to my grandparents' house for Thanksgiving, and I'm like, oh, my dad didn't make cornbread this year. So,
oh no!
So much disappointment on this podcast today.
But we'll do it for Christmas.
My grandma, whenever she makes cornbread, she has these, she has this thing that was passed down, like, through the family. I hope I get it. But it's this, like, it has to be from the 1800s or 1700s or something. But it's this, like, metal pan type thing that is, like, corn, I don't even know how to say, it's, like, indented with corn shape. And it's made for making cornbread. So you pour the cornbread batter into the corn shape and you pull it out, and it's like little corn on the cobs, but they're cornbread.
That's adorable.
It is. It makes you eat cornbread in a whole different way. And you can actually put the butter in it and, like, spin the butter around on it. So good. Yeah.
That is hysterical. I've never heard of that before.
It's great. And my other favorite food I did get to eat was, we don't normally go to my grandma's house, but we stopped by there this year because we had a new pregnancy announcement. It wasn't me. I'm not pregnant, guys. But we had to stop by because of things. And I had my favorite cheesy potato bacon mash stuff.
I like how you don't even know the name of it.
There's not a name. You just eat it and fall asleep.
It's got cheese, potatoes, and bacon. It doesn't need a name.
It doesn't. There was
it's not around long enough to refer to by name.
Exactly. There was an episode of My Strange Addiction where the lady was addicted to cheesy potatoes, and that's all she ever ate.
Wow.
Yeah. You can definitely get addicted to this stuff. I understand it. That's probably the most relatable My Strange Addiction. All right, I'm going to move on to the next question. This one is from A Million Monkeys. He says, "Hey guys, I just heard from the United Nations that they have decided to give you each your own country. You can claim any 500 square mile region anywhere in the world to rule. They just want to know your country's name, location, and political structure. If you have a national anthem or flag design, that would be good as well."
I think I decided that mine is named /Topia, because anytime I create like a world, like if I'm creating something in a like a new Minecraft world or something along those lines, I pretty much always name it something Topia.
So original.
It's oh my gosh, that dates back to like decades ago when I would be naming stuff.
You've been uncreative your whole life.
I have been, yes. But I think upon rereading this, my original answer was that I would claim a region nearby Japan because I like Japan, I like Japanese culture, and I'd like to be able to get there, with a minimum of travel from my home country, I guess. But now that I realize I can claim any 500 square mile region anywhere in the world, I might just claim Washington, D.C., or a chunk of it, and therefore take over the United States of America as a whole.
Oh, that's not a bad idea.
See, loopholes, right?
Yeah, except for the fact that it's like the most densely populated portion of the United States, and you'd probably promptly get killed.
Possibly, yeah. Well, I didn't say it was a good plan.
Let's see, what else? You have your political structure. What did you say yours was? Communist, right?
No, that was me.
That's Drew.
Sorry, spoilers.
I had something ridiculous. I think it was like...
Didn't you want to be anarchist?
Oh, that was right. Yeah, you said
Yeah.
anarchy.
Yeah, I think it was like just basically a free for all.
Because you
Well,
said
that's
you would
good.
be the only one there.
Because that's right. That's what it was.
Your plan has been foiled by the residents of Washington D.C. Although,
Yeah.
I mean, if you own that area, like that's your own country, couldn't you kick everyone out? Say you're not a citizen of here.
Good luck.
Me and what army?
Right. I think every country has problems with trying to kick people out they don't want in. I decided that my country was going to be... Oh, what was your national anthem? I remember. It was the Doctor Who anthem, right?
I think so. I don't remember.
The Doctor Who anthem. I didn't know such a song existed.
Yeah, that thing. Okay, mine was a country that is like half Vermont and half Greece, and I don't know where it is, but it exists somewhere. Because Vermont and Greece are both awesome places. What else was it? Let's see, country's name, I wanted to call it New Portland. The location was a political structure. Well, I can't even remember what I said. I don't know. I think it was like a military dictatorship.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And then the national anthem was the theme song from Friends so that I could hear all of my people clap at the same time.
And then we had a whole discussion about Friends.
Yeah, it's true.
the
Yeah, we
theme song,
did.
yeah.
But how the Friends theme song doesn't make any sense.
Exactly.
Well, my country is an island a newly discovered island out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. And it was named Morrowind, and it was, as we already said, a communist nation, so everyone just works together to build up the whole country.
One big happy family, just
Yes.
like all communist countries ended up being.
Maybe when it's only a 500 square mile region, it works out better.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
We'll see.
The flag was just a giant 43, and the national anthem was the Peter Hollins and Malika version of Baba Yetu, which is the theme from Civ 4, and it's the Lord's Prayer in Swahili.
It's very cool.
Yes, I love that song. That's currently my second favorite song.
Good old classic Bobby Yetu. All right, and then at the end of the question, he tells us it's a hypothetical scenario.
What?
Yeah.
We were all very disappointed to learn that the UN had not actually given us our own countries.
Guys, I had plans. I already bought my plane ticket.
Well, that was a bad decision.
You would think that the airport in your home country wouldn't charge you for airfare into your own country.
That's true.
Oh man.
Oh, I forgot my flag design. It was a flag that was a weird shape and it was on fire.
Oh, sorry.
That's right.
Speaking of flags, I just found out, we were watching Riff Tracks, and they made a joke about I forget which, we were watching Lord of the Rings, so I think it might have been like Saruman's flag, or no, it was the Rohan flag, and they made a joke about it being worse than the Colorado flag. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Colorado flag before. It's, no offense to anyone who lives in Colorado, but it's kind of a dumb flag.
You know what's crazy? Is that's like probably my second favorite flag.
It's literally, it's a white stripe, it's a blue flag with a white stripe in it, and then there's a red C that has kind of a yellow circle in it. It looks like it belongs on a gas station. Like, it looks like it's a gas station logo.
It works so well for like, I have a lot of t-shirts that have it on it. And we go to Colorado a lot, and we paint pottery when we go there, and I made a plate that's like black and has the Colorado flag on it. It looks so cool. So until you see my plate, please hold off judgment on the Colorado design.
Kind of puts me in mind of Pac-Man.
I didn't say there was a problem with the Colorado plate. I just said the Colorado flag.
But you haven't seen it on a plate is what I'm saying.
But it's not a flag if it's a plate.
It's a flag design on a plate. You're criticizing the design, Drew.
All right. Off to your separate countries.
See ya. New Portland, here I come.
Slash being the parent of the podcast.
Last question, guys. We need to answer these questions. These people have been waiting. Actually, this one is a new question, so we haven't answered it before. 2 questions from Bailey, a friend from the AlfieCraft server. He says, wait, he's Scottish, right? Or dang it, Welsh.
Yes, he's
Scottish or Welsh?
Scottish.
Okay. Whew. Almost messed that one up. He says, first question. If you woke up and found that your significant other was really a panda, what do you think your reaction would be?
It is the weirdest Scottish accent I've ever heard.
First of
no,
all,
that
that's
was
probably
perfect.
closer to Irish.
Well, Scotland is close to Ireland, right?
Maybe from the perspective of the mid-U.S.
Oh, it's a lot closer than I am. Trust me.
Yes, that's true. I can grant you that much.
If my significant other was a panda, it depends on how much danger I would be in whenever I discovered that. If I weren't in any danger, it would kind of be cool, except we would have to import a lot of bamboo.
Right. Yeah, I would be extremely confused because my children don't appear to be panda-human hybrids.
But what if you discovered they were at the same time?
Oh, man. The world is not ready for that.
No.
That is frightening to ponder.
I would be less confused about the panda thing and more confused about when did I get a significant other.
It was a panda, and they've been following you the whole time. That's where confusion should lie.
It's like, Drew, honey, I'm really a panda. Who are you?
Exactly.
Excellent.
Why are you telling me this?
Am I like one of those people who like got amnesia and they forget like all about that they were married and all that stuff, and I'm just yeah.
You forgot that you were married to a panda. Classic Drew mistake.
Yep.
All right, second question from Bailey, since that one was crazy. He says, if you had a button that would make the universe go back in time by 10 seconds every time you pressed it, and only you knew it was happening, what would you use it for? So this is the subject of, I think, at least 30% of every movie ever written.
First one that comes to mind is Sands of Time.
Right.
Prince of Persia.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure Jumper was like that too.
No, Jumper didn't have time travel. They just teleported all over the world.
Oh, they made time go really slow, right? No,
No,
what? I'm not thinking of
teleported all over the
Jumper.
world.
What am I thinking of? Not Jumper. The one where they have watches. What is that?
Adjustment
It's a movie.
Bureau?
The one where they have... Are the watches significant?
No, they
Yeah,
have
it's
hacks in
like-
the Adjustment Bureau.
They have these... No. I can't remember what it is. Look it up. Maybe it's like
Matrix?
Leaper or something?
I don't know.
Jumper is a good movie, though.
Jumper was a good movie. I did like that.
It was an entertaining movie. I don't know if I'll say it was a good movie.
Really? The guy's name is Digimon. Digimon Hansu is the villain.
Is it really? I completely missed that part. That's hilarious.
He's also
Wait,
the guy in
Samuel
Guardians of the
Jackson?
Galaxy. Huh?
Are you talking about Samuel L. Jackson?
No, Digimon
Bad guy in
Hansu. He's in what's the very first scene in Guardians of the Galaxy? He's the black guy. You've seen the movie like 6 times, Drew. I know you can remember this.
I've seen the movie twice, first of all. And second of all, I thought that Samuel L. Jackson was the bad guy in Jumper.
Maybe I don't know what Jumper is. I think... Sorry, I was about to look it up and I just realized my cat unplugged my mouse.
Oh. Well,
Classic cat behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
Bailey, to answer your question, I would repeatedly press the button until we got to the beginning of the answer to this question and do it all over.
Hey, my mouse is back in. Hang on, I'll look it up for you. My cat plugged it back in for me. That's so nice.
See, I know
Oh.
exactly what Jumper is. I'm wondering if you're confused about what Jumper is.
It looks like I may be.
He says indignantly.
It's Hayden Christensen and Jamie Bell and Rachel Bilson, and they teleport, and Samuel L. Jackson chases them.
Yeah, it looks like I was wrong.
What
Sorry.
were you thinking of then?
The movie I was thinking of, I'm looking it up right now. It was, what was it? It wasn't too long ago. I don't know. I'll find it. I'll interrupt the podcast when I do.
Okay. Well, my answers would be I would not press it because you did not list the side effect or the downside, and there's always one in these situations.
It was push.
Okay. I have not seen Push.
Okay, sorry.
So yeah, you didn't list the downside. Like I'm picturing like there was like a Rooster Teeth skit where like you can press a button and if you do, you win $1 million, but also someone you know dies. And
Oh gosh. 10 seconds though?
no, it didn't have anything to do with 10 seconds. It was just one of those like if you press a button, something will happen. But he didn't list the downside, and there's always a downside.
I thought you were talking about like what is that? The Ray Bradbury short story where if you go back in time, it changes everything.
Oh, you think about the butterfly effect?
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I didn't want to be wrong, though.
Yeah.
Because clearly that's happened already.
The proper story, the butterfly effect, as opposed to the Ashton Kutcher weirdness.
That's what
that
confused
I declined to see.
Right. Okay, so what would I do? I would probably keep my cat from meowing right before she meows every time. I think that would be what I would use my powers for. Otherwise, I would just live my life the same.
So you're constantly going to have your hand over your cat's mouth?
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it works out in practice. If not, then I would, eat a bite of something and then go back 10 seconds and eat it again.
Oh, man, that's a fantastic answer, actually.
Unlimited food.
Uh-huh, and then I would feed the hungry.
What would happen to the food in your stomach?
I don't know, but I would feel full. I might die soon, but...
Would it come back out of your stomach when you went back in time?
I think we've thought about this far too much.
Gross. Speaking of food, Thanksgiving just happened, guys. We already talked about
indeed.
it. But
yeah.
What was the best thing that happened to you on Thanksgiving?
I didn't get lost on the way to work.
You have to work on Thanksgiving.
Honestly,
yeah.
I had a very short Thanksgiving. I had, I got to my grandparents at 2:00. We ate at 3, and I left for work at 4:30.
Stupid Black Friday.
Right.
What is up?
Yeah. You're that guy that my wife and I pity when the commercials come on for Black Friday.
Yeah.
And they go, starting 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day.
It's like nobody's going to go shop at 5 p.m. on Thanksgiving Day, but then magically there are so many people that want to do it.
It wasn't nearly as crowded as it could have been.
I can imagine.
I was relieved, honestly. I was talking to some friends, and we're really hoping that next year they're going to be like, hey, we're gonna actually go back and make it later again instead of earlier.
As an employee,
if anything, they're going to start Black Friday deals Wednesday night.
Well, we already had some minor sales going on Wednesday.
I can tell you didn't have very many more than minor sales on Friday. I went there and pretty much just shopped at Target at 9:00 at night for no reason. Just like normal. I didn't buy anything on discount, but I bought other stuff. I was like, I'm just shopping in the middle of the night for no reason at the crowdest time of the year.
Well, you want to know how much money I spent on Black Friday?
Negative money, because you got paid.
I spent more than I got paid.
What? You did it wrong. You did it very wrong.
Well, okay, so I bought a bunch of Christmas presents, and I also bought a TV. So I spent $400 on Black Friday.
Did you have to fight people to get the TV?
No,
that's for sure what happens at Target. Every time, because we go to Target pretty much every Black Friday, and there's always those TVs, like the typical 50-inch, not necessarily name brand, but close to it TV that everybody runs in and grabs, and then swings around the store and smacks old ladies in the head with it and stuff.
So fun story. It was my job. So the way they handle that is, they have the people who are standing in line outside. They have people who go starting from the front of the line, working their way back. They say, "Are you planning on buying one of the TVs that are on the really special deal?" They actually have. We only have 30 of the one and 10 of the other or something. They go through and they go through to the people in line, and if they're planning on buying one, they give them a ticket. Well, when the doors open, they come in, and they came over to me, and it was my job to have them pay for the TVs that they had stood in line for and gotten there first at probably 3:00 in the afternoon. And then they went back and actually turned in the ticket and got the TV. But
so you're saying Target is evolving and actually understanding that it's somewhat dangerous to let people run with 50-inch TVs in the middle of the most crowded time of the year.
Well, it wasn't that way last year. So
it was when I went there.
Well, you're also going to a different Target than the one I work at, so I don't.
Well, why don't you work at my Target? Maybe it'd be better. My mom always tells this story now. Every time we mention Black Friday, it was actually at Walmart, not Target, so you're absolved. But I got pinned against the side of an aisle at Walmart, and by pinned, I don't mean there were things around me so I couldn't move. I mean, some lady drove the corner of her basket into my crotch while I was pinned against the end of an aisle, and I was just standing there looking at my mom because I couldn't move, or else I would not have had children later in life.
You could not pay me enough to go to a retail outlet on Black Friday.
It's like almost a family bonding experience that all of us hate.
See,
Yeah, it sounds like a family bonding experience, like a zombie apocalypse would be a family bonding experience.
I would prefer a zombie apocalypse, I think.
see, now that I've worked at a retail store on 2 Black Fridays now, it's, from what I've seen, and I mean, there are definitely going to be worse experiences and better experiences depending on how the store handles it and everything. From what I've seen, really the worst part is when everybody rushes in the beginning. It's not necessarily going to be busier than like a normal busy day. It's just that they all come in at once. So like the fact that we open way earlier on Thursday night, I went there on Friday and shopped, and it wasn't bad at all.
I will say, okay, I wanted to ask you this. As an employee, do you think that Target, at least your Target, because we've established that Targets are different throughout the nation, but your Target, do you think you made more or less money with this new opening crazy early scheme?
Oh, overall the store?
Yeah.
I mean, I've only worked there when they've been opening.
Well, this year was like crazy early, though.
Yeah, we opened at 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say if anything, well, I don't know that we lost money exactly, but like there were definitely times when we were open and we were not making money because like we're open all night overnight. Like that's the thing. I heard some stores, like I also went to Best Buy with a friend. He had to buy something. And I was talking to someone who was there, and she was saying they opened at 5, but then they closed again at 1 a.m. and then reopened normal time on Friday.
I guess that kind of makes sense, but yeah, that's kind of the reaction I assumed. It's kind of like, it's almost like by opening early, I mean, everybody wants to be the first store to open, but it's creating this thing where now nobody's like super hyped to do it. It's almost like the fun part was standing in line and like racing into the store and just basically the purge happening in real life. And now it's like, oh, you just kind of trickle in to Target, go get your deal, and then leave.
So as someone who works there, I appreciate the fact that it's not like people killing each other at like 4 a.m. on a Friday.
After
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that, I mean, like, I hate the fact that I have to leave my family early to go to work, but at the same time, I'm not afraid of dying.
And you're also probably getting tired of your family at that point. In the Thanksgiving anyway.
No.
Okay, never mind. Just me.
Like I said, I hung out with them for like 2 hours. I mentioned that I got a TV. I wanted to see if you guys got anything cool on Black Friday.
We made no purchases on Black Friday.
What about Cyber Monday?
I
Nope.
made no purchases today.
Okay.
I bought Shadows of Mordor today.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was like $30.
Which console, or did you get it for a computer? Or?
PC. Yeah.
Okay, good choice.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
No, I wanted to get it for 360, and apparently because they had to downgrade it for the older generation, they basically took out like a major mechanic of the game, and so it's basically
What?
just. Do you know about the Nemesis system? Like,
Yeah.
Have you heard about? Yeah, they had to take that out for PS3 and Xbox 360.
Wait, they had to take that out? That's like the entire game.
I know. So
Well, screw you.
I'm now just gonna
Shadows
wait till
of
my
Mordor.
brother gets an Xbox One, and I'll get it for that.
Yeah. Well, it's probably going to be cheap on PC for the next couple of days. Because the Steam sale's going on, and I got it on the Humble Bundle sale. So, yeah, that's good stuff. Now, I want to ask you guys your favorite part of Thanksgiving, because my favorite part was that I got to go see Interstellar, and it was just as awesome as I expected. But I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I just want to tell you guys it was really awesome, and Matthew McConaughey was really good, and Christopher Nolan was... he made the movie so good.
And
It was the makingest movie that
He
Christopher Nolan
made that
has
movie
ever
like
made.
nobody's ever made a movie. Actually, I mean,
and
it
how
just
was
as good
the
as some of
sound?
his other movies.
How was the soundtrack by Hans Zimmer?
Really freaking loud.
Is it louder than Inception?
Yeah, I think so. Like the Inception, it makes sense when it's loud, and I know this is kind of, I didn't want to tell my girlfriend I knew it was loud before I was going into the movie, but I didn't want her to pay attention to it while we were going to see it. But if you think about it while it's happening, there's like certain parts they're kind of epic and like they're important to the story, but there's just music blaring at you and you're like, why is it so loud right now? He's just driving a car.
Well, now that's all I'm going to think about when I see the movie.
You'll be alright. That's all I thought about, and it was still fantastic. But it goes into, I took a modern physics class in college, and if I had seen this movie before I took the modern physics course, I would have paid more attention, let me tell you that. Because it was so interesting, and now all I can think about is, like, what the movie's about. Don't want to give it away, though, so go watch it.
All right.
That interests me because I find it very unlikely that there's anything remotely resembling real-world physics in this movie, so I'll have to keep an eye out.
Real-world physics is, that's how I felt about my modern physics course, because I was like, when we were doing it, I was like, I'm never going to use any of this. Like, unless I really care about what frequency my guitar strings are being played at, I'm not going to use modern physics in my entire life. But I was proven wrong whenever I went to see Interstellar. And now I'll never use modern physics again. But they actually, I think they got, they didn't go too far into the science, but they went into very basic, advanced physics. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they didn't kill themselves that way, I don't think.
I mean, I've heard good things about it. It's not the sort of movie that I'm going to go see in theaters, but it might be, when it hits Netflix or Redbox, that might be a time that I would view it at that point.
Segue to a brief topic. Redbox is increasing their prices. Did you guys know that?
I did see that, yeah.
Yeah, from $1 to, I believe, $1.50.
Yeah, I think it's $1.50 now.
You know how much profit that's going to bring them? They're increasing their profit by 150%.
Well, they're increasing it
I'm
by
sorry,
50%.
by 50%. It's going to equal... Yeah, I get confused with that. Whatever. They're making more money.
I have never gotten a movie from Redbox, so...
Interesting.
It's kind of handy, if you're at the grocery store or whatever and you see something that you want, you can get it. You can usually get stuff at Redbox faster than you can on a Netflix, but it's not very frequent that we will pull out Redbox stuff because we can find, it might be older stuff on Netflix, but we'll watch that over... Yeah, unless it's something we really, really want to see.
I mean, I almost find more interesting things on Netflix nowadays. And speaking of which, Netflix is also coming out with a whole host of new, new Netflix series, plus movies such as Wolf of Wall Street and everything this month.
Right.
So it's really cool. There's a new series actually coming out called Marco Polo, and it's about Marco Polo.
No way.
Exploring Asia, I assume. It's probably an adult-rated series, but it looks pretty good. I'm excited about it.
See, I had assumed it was about a bunch of kids, and one of them had his eyes shut and was looking
walking
for
around
the
a
other
swimming
ones.
pool.
Yeah.
Most dangerous game, by the way. Anyway, I won't go into that. But that stuff is coming out because November has ended and it's going into December. But because November has ended, that means that you guys possibly no longer have beards.
Well, that's not correct for me.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
I retain my beard on a regular basis. But yeah, No Shave November is completed.
Yes.
So really for you, Slash, it was more of Shave November.
It kind of was, yeah. It turned out to be shave to start November.
and then end up the same as you always are.
And then do nothing with it like I usually do, yeah. Pretty much. Yeah, and actually that's the first video that I had on my channel for a few weeks now, was the conclusion to No Shave November. I put up an after video today, Monday, 2 days ago for the listeners. And yeah, it was interesting. I think I talked about this last time, but I was disappointed that I wasn't able to get all of the stuff set up for the event that I wanted to, for, getting donations and having a contest and, embedded webcam and all that stuff. Just things didn't come together properly for this. But, it's a learning experience. I might be able to pull up something next year or, for a different event. Lessons learned.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw on Twitter at all. I posted before and after pics, which the before was before I shaved and the after was after. And Yeah, it's very strange. Like I was ready to get rid of, or at least like trim it down, because it was just kind of getting all like just sticking out all directions and stuff. But it's been like 5 years since I haven't had facial hair, and so it's really weird not even having my goatee, which I've had for so long, and it's like my face looks so different. And the worst part about it is, which, I mean, this is gonna sound kind of silly, but this was my immediate reaction. I realized just how much I like scratch the hairs on my chin, and they're not there anymore. And it's like the worst feeling ever. Like I liked doing that, and it's gone now.
It's gone. Well, you can get over your PTSD some other time. Well, actually, speaking of PTSD, some people are saying that the new Grand Theft Auto, GTA 5, that is, it's giving them PTSD, actually. And I don't think they're meaning it seriously, but I can tell you why is because Grand Theft Auto 5 has added a first-person view into the game. So normally GTA 5 is the over-the-shoulder third-person view, and everybody says that now that you play in this first-person view, apparently the game is just amazing in first-person already. But
I've watched some Let's Plays. It's awesome.
yeah, it makes everything so much more personal, though. Like when you're just walking up and punching a hooker in the face, you're like, man, I'm sorry, hooker.
Doesn't stop you from doing it, but you feel more about it.
Right. I don't know. I'm kind of interested to get GTA 5 now just because of the first person view. And it came out at the beginning of November, I believe. So it's been out for a little while. But watching the videos and, I don't know, it looks so good in first person.
Yeah.
It's weird. I don't know. Like, I without having seen it, I wouldn't think that would have that big of an effect.
It's surprising.
It's kind of like... Go ahead, Drew.
Well, I was going to say, like, it's just, you don't really think about it, but it's like, I mean, I've done this in other video games too, like Battlefront on the computer, you could switch between first and third person views. And it's surprising when you get really used to the, like, being aware of what's around you, like if there's someone immediately behind you, or just like when you're driving, you can see what's on either side of you, all that stuff. It's really surprising how the first person view changes that. And like, it's so much easier to get lost from what I've seen. Like, people will be driving something and then they'll not see an obstacle and they'll crash their car, and then they'll go like flying out of their car, and then they have trouble finding their car because they're in a first person view and they have to turn all the way around in a circle.
I feel like that's how it would be in real life. I just flew out of my car. I'd be like, dang, wait, where'd my car go?
Yeah. So it's
that
just
might
like...
be the concussion, though. I mean,
that
to
could
be fair.
possibly be.
Yeah, so
See,
it's just, yeah, I don't know. It, in some ways it seems to make it kind of a little more intense. I think the Let's Plays, like the stuff that Rooster Teeth does or Achievement Hunter does, it just makes it crazier, because like they always do like tricks with jets and stuff, and like try to do all sorts of crazy stunts. And when you can't be fully aware of what's going on around you, it just makes it so much more funny when they crash. So
yeah, from a gameplay perspective, it definitely, it kind of disorients you, but it also, I don't know, it just makes you focus in on certain things so much more. But from even a moral perspective, like I was saying earlier, it's like you kind of, for some reason, seeing through the player's eyes, it makes you empathize with the world a little bit more, which is weird to me. That psychology behind the different points of view, that's why I wanted to bring it up. Do you guys think we'd be better at life if we could see in third person?
Man, that broke my brain just then.
I can
Right?
say I don't think so. Once again, Rooster Teeth. They did a series called Immersion, which was all about taking concepts that are in video games and applying them to real life and seeing if it would be harder or easier. And they were talking about how in driving games, lots of driving games, you're in a third-person view looking at the outside of the car. And so they actually did that. They blacked out a windshield and then put like a camera on like a crane behind the truck. And they had a TV screen. Yeah, they had a TV screen in the truck, and then you had to drive through an obstacle course. And it's so much harder.
See, I was going to say that. I thought I was coming up with a completely original idea, but you somehow get some kind of backpack that, like, has a camera way behind you connected to an Oculus Rift that's on your face, and so you can see the back of yourself while you're walking.
I feel like that would be so weird.
It'd be very disorienting, I think.
We've got to do it. Sideshow.
You know, you know what? I did read, and I forget where probably on Ars Technica, but I think there was some sort of like art project somebody wanted to do. I don't know. I guess anything qualifies as art, really. But anyway, this guy was looking for someone to volunteer to essentially be share their life with this guy. I think what the plan was that the subject was going to wear like Google Glass type thing. So there would be a video camera always looking in the direction that the person was looking, and then that feed was going to go to the artist's like Oculus Rift thing, and he was going to wear that and experience this guy's life nonstop for some ridiculous amount of time, like a month or something like that. You know
what?
And just like, I don't know if they had like, there was going to be like microphones, and the guy would have headphones in so he could hear what that guy was hearing, and it's a crazy concept. Because I can't imagine sharing my life to that degree with someone, Like, just going to the restroom. Like, that's not an experience that you share with other people. So, I don't know. It's weird.
So, could you theoretically get fulfillment out of your life by not doing anything and just watching somebody else's life?
Well, I think that's the commentary that this guy is going for. Is
so crazy.
It's some sort of statement on how disconnected we are with each other. Because it's all like, we're all on the internet so much, and there's not as much human face-to-face interaction. It tends to be all over electronic devices these days. So
see, but that's crazy. Is that we're disconnected in a human sense, but from I don't know if humanity is the right word, but every person is so much more connected now.
Right.
So it's like, I don't know, I saw something on Reddit the other day that was like, my grandpa said, I told my grandpa that you can connect with everybody on Reddit, and he said, well, go find Sean Williams and tell him to F him. It showed a picture of his grandpa giving the middle finger.
Wow.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, something a little more family friendly. Rooster Teeth just started a new YouTube channel that is specifically going to be family friendly content. So, one of the normal Rooster Teeth shows, an example would be Rage Quit, which is where one guy gets really mad and swears a lot at video games. They've decided to make content that, like, if you have like little siblings or kids or something, that like stuff that you could watch with them that would actually be okay. So they put out the channel, and they had some stuff. They put a couple of older videos, they re-released them on that channel, and then they also put out some new ones. So some examples of the types of things they're doing, they're pretty much all video game, like, let's play type things. But some examples are, the one guy has played several games with his two sons, who are, I don't know how old they are, but I'd say younger than 12 probably. And then one of the new ones is, it's actually the one guy who works at Achievement Hunter, his daughter and her babysitter are doing a Sims playthrough together, and then he occasionally is like coming in and making comments, and that's fun because, like, yeah, I don't know, it's really entertaining. I like that they're doing a family friendly thing, because I love Rooster Teeth, but it's, at the same time, it's definitely like, I wouldn't show it to that many people.
Yeah, there's definitely a kind of a balance that all YouTubers have to find with being, at times being themselves, and at other times being family friendly. Like, I can tell you, whenever I'm playing a video game with my in real life friends and we're just sitting on a couch and I'm playing, I'm much less family friendly than I am on YouTube. Right. And supposedly it's funnier when you're much less family friendly, but that's just not how I am in public. So right. You see a lot of people do these family friendly channels and then not family friendly channels. So it's an interesting kind of balance there.
Yeah, well, that's something, like, Paul Soros has 2 channels, right? Because he has, like, his
Yeah.
main channel is family friendly, but he has, like Paul After Dark or something.
It's
Pauly on
Pauly
tap.
on tap.
Paul, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, I could certainly see that. And I like that. I like it when a channel explicitly, has that statement made, where you can go to the channel, you can very quickly tell whether or not this is a channel that you can allow your kids to watch the videos off of.
Yeah, you can tell pretty dang fast. Like, watch half of the Minecrackers. You can tell that you're never going to be able to show your kids Anders Paws or Good or something like that. But, if you watch Beef or Kurt, you can tell it's going to be okay.
Yep.
So, that's interesting. But Paul Soares Jr. is in kind of a weird situation because his viewer base was so young because he got it, most of it, he's probably the 3rd most subscribed Minecracker, which is crazy.
Right.
But he got most of it because he has possibly the single most popular video of Minecraft with, what's it called? Minecraft Surviving and Thriving Your First Day in Minecraft or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
It's basically just a beginner's guide. And he's got so many young kids watching all of his stuff. And it got to a certain point where it was like, if you ever heard, like, you never heard him cuss at all on a video at all. And if he did slip something out, it was like his entire comment section was full of, I found it, Paul Soares Jr. cussed.
Right.
And so I think that's kind of what inspired him to do it. So, like I said, it's kind of a balance, but different reasons driving different people. I don't know.
Yep. Yeah,
it's weird. It's something I didn't think about.
I mean, I keep my channel family friendly primarily because I know that my kids can watch my videos. And I don't want to be setting a bad example for my own kids. So it's sort of for my own. Like I gotta behave on my videos like I behave with my own children.
Right, and it's to me, it's like I don't present myself in public in a vulgar way. Ever, really. Right. So it's almost like YouTube is like the ultimate presenting yourself in public because you're presenting yourself to possibly thousands of people that you've never met before.
Right.
So yeah. It's just my nature not to come off as vulgar to that many people.
It's just a matter of what kind of audience, because some people don't enjoy that kind of content. They want to hear people being, swearing up and down and, whatnot because they find that amusing, and that's fine. It's very interesting how there's sort of a dichotomy with at least the YouTube viewership, I think, between those who really enjoy that kind of content and those who prefer to avoid that kind of content.
Yeah, I can tell you Good's Sim series is hilarious because he cusses the entire time. It's fantastic. He yells at his Sims, and yeah, I got my girlfriend into watching that. It's the first Let's Play she's ever actually enjoyed.
Yeah, I believe it.
I would like to think that for my YouTube channel, I'm just naturally who I am, and naturally who I am, I'm relatively, I would say I'm, like, the videos still come out family friendly, because that's just who I am. Right. Probably the only thing I really, like, censor myself on what I put on my channel is more, not so much what I say, it's more, I don't record all the video games I play. Like, I would never put Saints Row on my channel. And when I did put out some Assassin's Creed videos, I put at the beginning, like, a warning, this video game is rated mature for these reasons and all that stuff. So
yeah, I think that's good too. I actually kind of miss YouTube. Once upon a time had there was a bunch of features that they've kind of gotten rid of over time, but I know that Kurt has talked about how there was like this whole show mechanic that they used to have, and you could actually put ratings on the shows. Like he had, Far Lance or Bus marked as being, viewable for all audiences, that sort of thing. Yeah. That's not really a thing that they have built into the site anymore, and I feel like that's a lack. I feel like that's something that they really should have, a very simple toggle where you can be like, assign this rating to this video, and you can just go and, have it in your defaults be like, by default, suitable for all ages. But if I'm, uploading something that's not, I want to be able to change that, and that way it can at least pop up automatically pop up a warning or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that YouTube is lacking in a certain area?
Yeah, it's shocking to contemplate.
I'm amazed.
But I believe so.
Wow. My view perspective on life is completely changed.
Wow. And it's affected your speech centers in your brain.
It did.
I wasn't sure if that was just I've had some some things where I've been hearing Snow coming through as kind of robot-y, and I wasn't sure if that's what it was. Earlier he said the, and it sounded like you went the.
I'm completing the transition to full robot. It is happening sooner than I have anticipated.
The nanites have taken over.
Yes. Well, by the next time we see you guys, I may be full robot.
I don't know if I'm gonna like Snowbot.
Snowbot the robot.
Oh, man. Actually, speaking of robots, this isn't a topic that I had on the agenda. I'm going off book.
What?
But I realized that I had forgotten to mention that the trailer for Star Wars The Force Awakens came out. The little teaser trailer.
I actually haven't watched that yet.
I haven't either, and I should have.
There's not a whole lot to watch.
I heard something about a lightsaber.
That is the big thing. The big news... Okay, so it comes out. There's just basically... The majority of the teaser is just a lot of the sort of iconic Star Wars images that you're used to seeing. Like you see a stormtrooper. At one point, you see the Millennium Falcon flying around. You see, shadows and all the sort of, fantastical, futuristic looking stuff, right? Nothing that it looks like Star Wars, right? It's nothing revolutionary or whatever, but there's this one scene where an obvious, bad guy, Jedi, like Sith type person, steps out, ignites a red lightsaber, and then two little mini lightsabers come out in like a 90-degree angle from there, forming like a hilt for the sword. And man, the divide that I have seen online in the reaction between that. Some people are like, that actually makes sense because, you'd want you'd want the laser to be able to stop a sword from sliding down the main beam or whatever. And other people are like, that doesn't make any sense. Then it'll just cut into the handle. And, people have just jumped all over this. And I've seen versions of it with, lightsabers with, 18 beams coming out of the hilt in different directions. And... yeah,
people are going to freak out about this movie. This is just the first step. There's going to be so much criticism, it's not even going to be funny. Even if you wanted to enjoy this movie, I think the only way you could enjoy it is if you didn't read anything about it, because people are going to rip it to shreds.
Right. I'm optimistic about it. I mean, J.J. Abrams is behind it. He did a fantastic job with the first two Star Trek movies.
Yep, that's true.
With the reboot there. I mean, obviously they're not doing a reboot with Star Wars, so it's a little bit different of a scenario, but I still think that they're going to do well by. And it's a Disney property now, and it is... I could not name something in my lifetime that Disney has done poorly.
Planes.
I haven't watched Planes, so I can't...
That's true. I haven't either.
Yeah, terrible movie.
All right, well, there you go. So there's one.
It was Planes.
It's still a pretty good track record. So I'm optimistic about
Planes 2.
The upcoming Star Wars.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. I read or saw some. Oh, yeah. Did you guys hear, there was a big thing that, the Star Wars trailer is going to come out this weekend. And, 1 or 2 days before it came out, someone supposedly leaked the trailer. It was actually just a fan-made trailer, but hundreds of thousands of people thought it was the actual Star Wars trailer being leaked online, and then I guess people realized, or I guess Star Wars, whoever, I guess someone must have probably announced, no, this isn't the real thing. But if you, go back and watch it, I guess I haven't actually seen that one either, but apparently it just takes, scenes from other sci-fi movies and stuff, and they cut it together, but I guess they did a good enough job that people thought it was the trailer for the new Star Wars.
That's kind of hilarious.
Awesome. I gotta say this, now that you said that, it reminded me. If you haven't seen the trailer for the new Star Wars, go out and watch that, and then look for the special extended edition version.
Oh, God.
That somebody took the footage from the Star Wars trailer and they applied a hilarious parody worth of additional special effects to it. like George Lucas did with the original trilogy, adding a bunch of CGI and stuff. And it's just... it looks ridiculous. Jabba the Hutt is just randomly in the middle of one scene for no reason whatsoever. It is absolutely hysterical. Oh, man. So yeah, definitely, I recommend if you've seen the Star Wars trailer, you have to check out the extended edition version. If you search, Star Wars trailer extended edition on YouTube, it's a top video right now, or last I looked. So yeah, that's my video recommendation for the week.
I guess our video recommendations got cut off. Mine was about Greek basketball, but you don't have to go watch it. It's old news now.
I don't remember if I had one. So
yeah, you did. I can't remember what it was though.
2 recordings in a row, SnoShoe goes, my recommendation is a video that I recommend you don't watch.
Sorry. It's actually really cool. Go Google Greek basketball if you care. The fans are throwing flares onto the court and stuff. It's great.
all right. Well, I think that'll do it for us this week.
Yep.
So
We're going to be 1 year old.
Yeah, we're a year. We're walking now.
Are we?
Probably.
Are we going to have a cake on the listenership?
I don't know. It's kind of tough to obtain the materials for baking at sea. So.
Well, at least give them limes so they don't get scurvy.
We'll just have some hardtack.
Yeah, there you go.
It's 3 wheat, 3 buckets of milk, 2 eggs, and some sugar.
We're going to get a cow.
Maybe we find a mushroom
Manatees are the cows of the sea.
Oh, man.
Has anybody ever had manatee steak? Is that a thing?
I certainly hope not. I think they're endangered.
Okay.
They're protected
Yeah,
or
they're
something.
endangered.
So.
Well, if anybody on the listenership wants to go grab some manatee steak for our 1 year anniversary, feel free.
You just didn't hear it from us.
That's true. That's probably illegal, what I just said, isn't it?
Yeah, that was kind of what we were going for there, yeah.
Oh, cool.
We were going for illegal.
No offense, government.
Okay, but before this gets any worse, let's go ahead and end. So,
all right. Thank you guys for listening. And
don't break any laws.
Don't break laws. Dem Guys podcast advocates obeying your local ordinances.
Yes. Hooray, communism.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.